so it's the same for both of them. All right. Alrighty. Hope everyone's doing fairly well this evening. Thank you for joining me. Militia. Try to wait for a few more people to get in here. I went ahead and started recording, but I talked about it in the chat earlier. Nice, next year. I talked about it in the chat earlier, and I think I kind of touched on it yesterday during the AMA. But as far as like marketing goes right now, we really are just going to go over with just try to hit some really high quality items here over the next week as we're preparing for our NFT drop. Not necessarily blanket anything with a lot of quantity of anything, but try to aim for a little bit higher quality ad placements. What I mean by that, a little bit more specifically, I think we're going to try to get a couple good articles out, Yahoo Finance, Market Move, stuff like that. We'll push those. We'll try to push those articles after we've got staking live and functioning and tested, and we know everything's working there. There's still a few more steps that we need to take as far as the team goes on getting the staking pools together and getting that up and operational. We'll be taking those steps this evening. To tell you the truth, I probably would have taken them earlier today, but I'm waiting on a message back right now from Maverick. He usually messages me around like 9 p.m. my time. So I'm assuming I'll get a message from him around then. That'll tell me like the last little pieces of information that I need to go ahead and move forward with that. So we'll get that launched live, get a bunch of people in the pool, make sure everything's functioning there, and then possibly even try to go ahead and get our front end done for the staking pools and the farming as well. We'll just like include embed widgets on our website that gives you direct access to those pools instead of having to go over to Brew Labs. I'm not sure if we'll get that done immediately or if that'll be something that takes another week or two. If that's something that's going to take another week or two, then we won't hesitate on doing any marketing around the farming and staking pools. We'll go ahead and start that marketing. And like I said, that's already in the works. I don't have a exact time or anything like that set, but as soon as I do have the time, I will push an announcement to everybody for a live streaming event that I'll be doing with a YouTuber. I think the plan is right now to do that Thursday evening. Again, as soon as I have more information there, I'll get that information out to everybody. And then as well, I'm really hoping timeline wise, everything just kind of works out to where we have some of our legal stuff in a row later on in the week, and we're able to prove a couple things as far as like LLC filing and stuff. That's all registered and played through the state that we filed through. And if that is the case, again, hopefully at the end of this week, if not, I'm sure it'll be done at some point next week. Either way, hopefully if that's done, we will go ahead and move forward with another partnership and go ahead and push those announcements out to everybody. And I think that'll really be a big boost of morale. And even furthermore, it'll bring in a community that we're really trying to tap into. This is a YouTuber who's pretty well known within the SafeMoon community and well liked within the SafeMoon community. It'll bring a lot of eyes on us from a community that is unreasonably strong holder. That being said, those are the kind of holders we want. As far as marketing, that's kind of where that's at right now and where we're direction that we're taking there. We don't want to blanket market right now and spend a bunch of money until we have a little bit more concrete steps that we'll be taking and able to deliver on. So just being able to push announcements about things that we have finished and that are working and are functional do bring added value to the project itself. And what I mean by that specifically is the farming and the staking pool, the Labs partnership, being able to just market on that for just a moment while we're also, of course, hyping up the NFT drop. Hopefully, that brings enough new eyes and some fresh dollars into the ecosystem itself. It allows us to actually sell those NFTs on drop. That's what I'm excited for sure. Um, that's our next step. Now, the Brew Labs AMA that we talked about, that's still, of course, going on. I think our current plan right now is we will do the Brew Labs AMA in our Discord tomorrow evening. And then if anybody wants to, I'll be joining their Telegram Thursday morning, possibly. I think it's the time, my time, uh, for another AMA. That'll just be nothing in depth as far as like their Telegram. They'll be hosting their AMA, talking about all their announcements and stuff, and I'll just be there to talk about MBC a little bit as far as the partnership goes. But they'll be in here tomorrow evening, I believe, as soon as I have time for Maverick, and I'll get that exact time from him tonight whenever we're setting up the staking pools. By the way, real quick disclaimer. Even if I say I'm setting up these staking pools, nobody enter into the staking pool until I tell you. Okay? Just wait until everything's live, ready to go, and you get the official announcement from me personally. Meta Captain will put the announcement out in the Discord and in the Telegram. And then Nick will put an official tweet out through the official account on Twitter to announce that our staking pools are live. I just don't want anybody to get into a faulty pool or anything like that. You never know what could happen. And whenever we did the farming, something did happen. So just wait until you get that official announcement from me. I'll put that out as soon as possible. Again, that will be this evening at some point in the wee hours of the morning. And I might not even announce it until tomorrow, but just hold off, everybody. I will the official announcement out as soon as it's ready. It'll be here shortly. Um, anyhow, so yeah, that's kind of where we're at on those fronts. We're definitely still trying to work on the exact way that we can get everybody involved in VR as far as our AMAs go as quickly as possible. I had another conversation with the same investor, but uh, an individual on Telegram that is just like desperately upset that we are not currently holding our AMAs in VR. I do understand their frustration. I just hope that everybody also understands. I do things for a reason. Again, if anybody wants to play in VR right now, wants to hop on an Oculus and go somewhere and do something, I'll do something with you right this very moment. That being said, if it's something that's going to represent our brand, our company, it needs to look and feel correct. And we've made a couple of mistakes with marketing and branding in general from the beginning, as far as few missteps that we took, and we learn from those things. So I don't want to make a misstep here. I'm gonna do things the way I feel that they need to be done, and that being said, I do realize it might upset a few people, and some people might be disappointed. I completely understand that. So I'm gonna get the way I feel like it needs to get done. I always take everybody's input and consideration I have from the very beginning, and these things, I take to heart. Considering, for instance, I've talked about talked about this guy's comments now at least 2 or 3 different times. I understand where he's coming from. I really do. But that, I guess, at the end of the day, that's where uh, I I ask for a little bit more consideration. If I can't get it, I understand where we differ. Um, that being said, we're working on it, and I promise you guys, we will be having these AMAs in VR very soon. Um, I keep you guys posted and updated on what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis, or I try to at least. And that's just something that we're still working out. It'll be very, very shortly. I'm not going to give an exact date on anything yet, but it's currently ongoing. That's a completely different part of the team working on that right now. And my primary focus over the last week has been the staking, the farming, and trying to get everything geared up for the NFT drop. So that's where a lot of my time and energy has gone. And uh, that's what I feel is what the project currently needs right this very second. I understand that moving forward, we definitely need to try to introduce Metaverse as quickly as possible just to um, prove to the general investment community that we are a real Metaverse project. That being said, that development is getting done and it is getting pushed closer and closer every single day. So, in a short while, we'll be there and we'll be interacting with one another. First on a public forum, and then shortly after that in a private setting that is uh, dedicated and developed by MBC. Alrighty. Does anybody have any questions for me this evening? Sorry, give me one moment. I know that there was a good question in the chat. I just can't remember what it was. 1 second. I set this thing up and I still get lost in it all the time. Okay. NFT question. Once lines are released, thoughts on doing super rare releases, one of ones or one of tens, with implied utility within the BR usage with partnered vendors? That's a fantastic question. And I think I forget that not everybody has been here since the very beginning. We had a lot of like just plain chit chat development talk before the launch itself, like, for the first few weeks leading up to the launch. And then even right after the launch, there was a lot more talk about the actual plans on stuff. And I kind of forget that a lot of new people that have come around don't know what those actual plans are because on a day-to-day basis I kind of get stuck in the what I'm doing and what my very next day is meant to look like. That being said, yeah, we plan on releasing many lines of NFTs, having partnerships with different vendors, and hopefully providing um, NFTs for those vendors. And what I mean by that is hopefully through our like commerce side of things, whenever we're setting up our brand partnerships, um I'm just going to go with a very basic example real quick. Let's just say we're working with a merchandise company that sells hoodies. uh that's their big thing. They sell hoodies and they sell them through like YouTubers and stuff like that. We decided to go ahead and partner with this group, and want to sell their hoodies in a virtual room along with all the other apparel options that we have. Well, some of their hoodies might have like a rare, um, we might pair with a rare NFT that's an actual wearable item for your avatar as well. So it would end up being like a one of one release hoodie NFT that is in itself a wearable item for your avatar. If you want an example of this, I would point to, I believe it's Samsung's 837 line. I believe they released in Decentraland. So Decentraland is just a PC game, browser game. I believe it's actually based off of. So it's not even actual VR. But Samsung's already partnered with them and released clothing items for your avatar itself. What these clothing items really are NFTs. So yes, in time, I of course plan on while we're introducing commerce and partnering with different like vendors and bringing them on. I would assume that the way we would handle it as like a revenue source would be that we would give them tiered listing fee options. And one of the listing fee options is house development from our side of it. And we would actually be able to just make those NFTs for them as well as if there's already projects that exist that are already doing this, just being able to onboard those projects quickly and easily because we already have that infrastructure. But I would assume up front, some of the early partnerships, that might be a selling point that we have even to get those vendors, if that makes sense. We might end up facilitating some of that early stuff. I don't want to say free of charge, but like extremely discounted. So give them the listing fee, what the typical vendor listing fee would be, but maybe for a larger brand or somebody that really pushes volume, we go ahead and include a line of like 10 NFTs for them. We do all the artwork and design. We get the contract and everything written. We mint them. We do all the heavy lifting per se, and just give them that product, or at least a revenue split on that product, in order to just retain that vendor. We plan on using stuff like that as a negotiation tactic per se. But fantastic question. And again, there's already a lot of projects out there that are quickly coming, uh, like real world products, sorry, that are quickly pairing themselves with digital NFTs, and that's just going to be a continued trend, I would assume. So, of course, that's an offering that we can provide for as well.
Yeah.
Saying something tonight. All right, 1 second. Oh, I understand now. My wife turned my audio down. Sorry, talk again?
You talking to me?
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. No, to add what you were saying about the real world NFTs, I'm not sure if this is true or not, but apparently World Cup tickets might be in an NFT format to some degree.
Well, that
I'm
would
not
make a lot of sense, honestly. I think that, yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Actually,
Because
my question was about the NFTs, the NFTs that we're releasing. I know a while ago we mentioned that Twitter's going to allow you to upload your NFTs there. The NFTs that we releasing, are they going to be compatible with that? If you do you know?
I believe so. I mean, I don't. I would need to double check like what chains they're currently supporting, but I would hope that they are supporting cross chain. Uh, I wasn't a really. I listened to a long like Twitter chat, Twitter space about the whole NFT Twitter verification thing, and gosh, people really are mixed about how they feel about that. Um, I see it as added value altogether. I felt bad because I was only hearing a bunch of negative about it, but like I don't know if this is right or wrong, but I'm not the judge of like what's right or wrong culturally, but I can definitely see a situation where um there's maybe like an influencer that people like, or a celebrity that people enjoy, or a sports figure that people follow, that if they use one NFT that's verified by Twitter as their profile pic, you have now verified that like they own it. You follow that on chain, so like I would think that that's like an immediate good use case, like as far as like, hey, how do you prove the value of an individual PFP truly being used by the person who says that they're using it, like who says that they own it. So that's just one small benefit that I immediately like was like, okay, yeah, that's kind of cool. Like you can definitely guarantee that, say it's a board ape, $100,000 board ape. It's just as easy for me to obviously fake that board ape. But if I can actually, if Twitter at least verifies it, and like I was a celebrity of some sort, and then I did go on to sell it, I would assume that that would have more value at that point in general, just like it on an open market. I would just assume that. I don't know if that's necessarily the case, but anyways, so I don't want to get too lost on this, but one of the people were complaining about the fact that like there's even a verification process for it on Twitter. Like, why should we even have to do that? Why does that part even matter? Why does it, And I don't know. That's like where you get lost in the sauce at that point, because at that point you're questioning like the whole. NFT thing altogether. Like, because it's, of course it matters whether or not it's like true and verified and real. And I understand you can verify, you can like bake verification on the NFTs. Like I could go ahead and mint, I could copy like Meta Mad Hatter's picture right now. I could copy that picture. I can go mint it on BSC real quick. And then I could verify that as being a real NFT on Twitter. But it's not verified as being from that, like say it was a line, a true line. I should have went with Meta Bob's NFT. It's a true uh hippie panda um NFT. So I could take that picture right now, and technically I could just take that picture, go to NFT Marketplace, mint that bad boy, have it as a BSC NFT, and then I could take that, go to Twitter, verify it right now. They'll give me the hexagon symbol around that NFT and show it as verified. So to like a layman person, it does look like, hey, he's got a verified hippie panda. No, you still have to do like your own block research. Now, again, my example, I'm not saying that I definitely know that Twitter uses BSC. I don't know if they're even cross chain like that or not. I would assume starting out they probably only support like Poly, Sol, and Ethereum. It would be my guess. I don't know that for certain though, and I would actually don't even take my advice on that. Just do some reading there because I have no idea what they support and what they don't support. But I do know that that is the case as far as minting the NFT. Like you can mint the same NFT as somebody, and it doesn't necessarily mean like it doesn't belong to that line. You still have to track it on the blockchain itself to know that it's a true original. If that makes sense. I hope everybody understands
No, that makes perfect sense. And also, thank you for the lesson on how to watch out for pirated shit and how to pirate shit probably too. So thanks for that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, go
uh,
ahead and assume that, like, you go ahead and always assume in life that there's as soon as something comes out, somebody's already figured out how to scam it. As soon as that happens. So
so
that
just to
it's
this is really off. Maybe it's a bit off topic, but like Windows product keys, right? Can those ever go like be verified on a blockchain in a way? Instead of
I'm sure.
activation, it gets verified on a blockchain?
Well, so in a way, technically, that's already what Windows has done. So, like, I guess, you might be able to secure that all in a little bit better on a blockchain, but Windows has already created like a in-depth ledger system that acts as encrypted authenticator, and that's how you now authenticate Windows. And it's pretty robust as far as like actual authentication um, versus being pirated software. Now, of course, there's always workarounds for it. It could be more robust, so yeah, you could secure it down more by having it on chain. And maybe that's something that Windows is working on. But a company like Windows, Microsoft, would definitely have their own chain. They'd be like IBM, where they're like, no, we're not going to use your silly blockchain. We're going to build our own, and it's going to be far superior. And that's what they would do.
So they're not going to use Grimace Coin blockchain?
I
Damn it.
don't, I don't think they're going to use Grimace Coin. Yeah, I'd be interested to see if Microsoft did come out with their own blockchain. Again, I think it would probably end up being something that would be like an intranet. They would only allow it internal use for added security reasons. I highly doubt they would actually allow for any type of publication on it. And by transaction, I don't mean financial, just in general data trade on. I highly doubt that. Um, But yeah, I know of many other companies that are working on uh, simple blockchain structures for even just like their internal functions, like Humana and a couple medical companies are working on their own blockchains just for like literal data transfer and stuff like that. Just for the security and encryption side of things. It makes a lot of sense. It honestly does. Um, it's interesting to see how quickly it's been adapted. I don't know if it's I don't know if it's like an added benefit or not to continue to create these individual networks. That I know that right now, that if you look at a lot of the networks that exist, if even Binance or Ethereum, any of them, if you look at like the actual congestion, and then you look at what people have charted as uh, possible incoming use over the next couple of years, we need more blockchains, or we need better ones. One way or the other. I think it'll all advance like at the same time, as things usually do. So it'll all work out. It's not something that I'm concerned about or worried about. But it'll be interesting to see how quickly it evolves over the next couple of years, and it will be evolving very, very quickly. Um, in case anybody had ever wondered. Is there any other questions from the community?
I don't see any more questions, and I got none more. Thank you.
Awesome. That's what I like to hear. Everybody's informed. Alrighty, guys, just to do a quick little recap for you. Marketing, it is moving forward. We're just going to work on some higher end media options, such as articles. We're going to be shooting to be placed in Yahoo Finance, Market Move, stuff like that. As we get a little bit closer to our NFT drop and being able to cover all of what we've recently done and all of the updates till now, and exactly like a nice general review of the project. We'll use these higher end uh, marketing stuff to share throughout our communities and just try to do another strong organic push along with uh, really much higher quality YouTube coverage that's going to be coming in a short second. Um, again, this will allow us to save a little bit of our money and as well just continue to try to push the right brand image that we want. Um, and the closer that we are able to get to our NFT drop, and as the NFTs are coming out, we can then start to do like a large general blanket marketing push just to try to drive as much revenue through those NFTs, and as well, of course, always grow the project as a whole, gain more holders, and everything that comes with that. If there's any more questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them. Again, recap on the upcoming AMAs. Tomorrow evening, we will have Brew Labs AMA here in our Discord. And then the very next day, I will have the live stream event with the YouTuber and the um, Brew Labs AMA in their Telegram. When I first posted about it, I said their Discord. I apologize. They don't use their Discord as much as they should. They use their TG a lot, though. They got a pretty popular TG. Anyways, thank you all very much hanging out with me this evening. If there's any other questions, feel free to hit me up in the chat. I'm always available. I really appreciate your time. Thank you all.